Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. This is Clash of the Titans, the video series here at Guy Boston Sports, where I go through all of the big-time college football matchups throughout the entire season, giving you guys deeper insight, deeper analysis, but more importantly, more picks for each of these big-time pivotal college football showdown. In today's video, we are covering the SEC championship game between number 9 ranked Alabama and number 3 ranked Georgia, a rematch from earlier in the year with massive implications for seeding in the college football playoff. Should be a great one, guys, and as always, I got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. Really excited for this one, guys. I have 3 picks to go ahead and share with you in today's video. We have a spread pick as well as a couple of player props to go ahead and hand out to you guys. This is one of 6 Clash of the Titans videos dropping on the channel this week, covering most of the major conference championship games. So make sure, subscribe, check out those videos because we're handing out a ton of college football picks this week. And yeah, with all that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and dive right into this SEC championship game between Alabama and Georgia. All right, guys, 4 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Spread is 2.5 points total. Currently, time recording is set at 47.5. My first pick in today's video is my spread pick, and I am backing the Bulldogs here to get a little bit of revenge against the Crimson Tide. Georgia minus 2.5 is my first pick. I'm grabbing it for plus 101. You can get this at plus money over on Novik. So plus money for Georgia to go ahead and win by 3. Obviously, these two teams, as I mentioned earlier, played in the earlier part of the year, earlier. Back on September 27th, it was a really tight battle in Athens, Georgia, and Bama won that game 24-21 in a win that kind of redefined Bama's season and set them on this path that eventually got them to being a top 10 team in the CFP. Obviously, this was a coin flip game last time. It's a coin flip game this time, but I do think that for Georgia, they've now lost each of the last 2 matchups with Bama. Bama's actually won 4 of the last 5 against Georgia. So you know that Georgia, this team wants revenge. I still stand by something I said in my earlier video this year when I covered the first meeting between these 2 teams this season. I think Kirby Smart is the better coach. I'm not trying to shade Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a very good coach, but I think Kirby Smart is the better coach in this matchup, and he has an advantage over DeBoer. And so first and foremost, I don't think Kirby Smart is going to come into this game and take it lightly. I think that this whole Georgia football team is pretty pissed off about that Alabama loss on their home field earlier this year. Now, this game is on a neutral field, but I think that Georgia in this spot here, you got to know there's a little extra layer of motivation. Obviously, the seedings for the CFP, if Georgia wins this game, they get a bye week. They get, pushed to the next round automatically. But Bama isn't without motivation. They kind of need this game. Now, I don't know how it's going to work. The CFP standings obviously put them at 9, which to me tells me that they want Bama in there. Win or lose this game, I think Bama probably has a spot. But obviously, a win guarantees them a spot. A loss, something's still up in the air, especially with a couple of really good teams, my Notre Dame Fighting Irish being one of them, nipping at the heel. But in terms of the matchup, like I said, it really is a 50-50 toss-up. These are 2 very, very good teams. Each one has a slight advantage over the other. For example, Georgia, 28th ranked rushing team in college football, averaging 190 rushing yards per game. Bama, the one sort of weak spot on their defense is their run defense. Now, it's not a bad run defense, 36th in the nation, but it is the one area of weakness on this Bama defense that Georgia can go ahead and sort of take advantage of. We did see that last time. They had a pretty decent day running the ball, especially running back Chauncey Bowen. On the flip side here, Georgia, 44th ranked pass defense, Alabama, 18th ranked pass offense. So you do see Bama's passing offense has an advantage against Georgia's pass defense, Georgia's rushing offense against Alabama's run defense. Neither team really has much of a pass rush. Both teams are offensively efficient in the red zone and defensively efficient in the red zone. So these, again, 2 very good teams. Both decent offensive line, although Bama's offensive line not nearly as good. Georgia's run defense, Alabama, they're not really a running team anyway, so Alabama not going to be able to run the football. Again, it really is a toss-up, and what it comes down to for me in this spot is Georgia, the experience of this team, the experience of Kirby Smart. And if we're being honest, I do think that Georgia's defense is a little better than Bama's. 12th ranked scoring defense, top 15 red zone efficiency. Yeah, the pass defense leaves something to be desired. But I do think, I guess Alabama, I don't know. They do force a healthy amount of turnover. So it is tough. It's really tough to determine who really is the better team here. It's very, very close. But again, I do think that Kirby Smart, the experience he brings, the experience of this Georgia team, Alabama obviously has experience in their own right, but Kalen DeBoer in his second season at Bama, it'll be interesting to see in this big-time spot in the SEC championship game how he comes through for the Crimson Tide. This is a little bit of an inexperienced spot for DeBoer in the SEC championship game. Whereas Kirby Smart in Georgia, this is another day. You know what I mean? Like, they've been here a number of times in the Kirby Smart era. So yeah, like I said, it's a toss-up. It's a tough game to kind of get a feel for. But ultimately, especially for plus money, you're getting Georgia at -2.5 for plus money. That, to me, is the key in this game. And the other thing we'll talk about very quickly before we move on to our player props is the form of these teams coming into this game. Now, after that Georgia win, Bama went on a really crazy run. They beat Vanderbilt by 16 points, close win over Missouri, but still a win on the road. They beat up on Tennessee, so a really good run there. But they're coming off a shaky performance against Auburn, which is why I don't really know why they jumped to 9 after that Auburn win, because that wasn't really a great performance. But they beat Auburn. They lose to Oklahoma. So 2 of the last 3 games, Oklahoma is obviously a very good team, but 2 of the last 3 games, some shaky efforts there from Alabama versus Georgia. On the meanwhile, now they had a 1-score win over Georgia Tech, but obviously Georgia Tech, a ranked team in that game. But a dominating win over Texas. They beat Mississippi State on the road. They beat Ole Miss at home. Since the Alabama loss, Georgia has been on a really, really, really great run. Their only loss on the season coming to Alabama. They've won every game since the Bama game. So they have been in a really good form coming into this one. So Alabama, last couple games, still not terrible results. They're 2-1, but, shaky versus where Georgia, they're coming in dominant with some really good wins in their back pocket. So, yeah, like I said, it ultimately, at the end of the day, is a coin flip. But in this coin flip, I'll take the Bulldogs, especially at plus money at -2.5. And speaking of Novig, guys, they are the sponsor of today's video. If you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, you are absolutely missing out. Using Novig allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. As you just saw for that last pick, plus 101 for Georgia, -2.5. Why is this? Because it's other users who are setting the lines. They are setting the odds. You are competing with other users, not the big-time books. Peer-to-peer is growing at an absolutely crazy rate, and you don't want to be late to this. Sign up for Novik today using the link down below in the description or the pinned comment. Spend $5 and get $50 in bonus bets today. You could use those $50 in bonus bets to go ahead and take this Georgia play at plus 101 for -2.5 over on Novik. So it's a great thing. They've been a proud sponsor of us for this season, and it's been really fun using them. They often in college and NFL give me the best lines for a lot of these games, these picks. So make sure to go ahead and check out Novig one more time. Link down below in the description or the pinned comment. Sign up with that link, bet $5 and get $50 in bonus bets today. Thank you to Novik for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, we have 2 player props to go ahead and share with you. But first, comment 8 down below if you're still watching the video at this point. As always, guys, we do appreciate those who watch through each and every single video here on the channel. It really does mean a lot to us. All right, so our first of 2 player props here, we have Isaiah Horton, the Alabama wide receiver, over 31.5 receiving yards, which I'm grabbing for -114 over on FanDuel. Best odds available to me, and pretty good data across the board. A 58% hit rate on the season for Isaiah Horton. He's averaging 34.83 receiving yards per game this season. So again, just get your average here, and we go ahead and cash the over. But the key thing about, oh my God, Hebida, that was, sorry about that, guys. The key thing that I looked at when looking at this player prop is the head-to-head numbers. And the last time that he played against Georgia, he had a very, very big game. 65 receiving yards in that game. Georgia had a really rough time defending him. He had 9 targets in that game, 5 receptions, 23% target share, really good numbers. Now on the season, Horton is the 3rd most targeted receiver in this offense, 11.2% target share. He has 47 targets on the year. 9 of those 47 targets came in that Georgia game. But considering that he had such a good matchup that time and played so well in that game, I find it hard to believe that Bama won't look to go down that well again and target Horton in this spot where he clearly had a mismatch and an advantage against a Georgia defense that, again, the weaker part of their defense is their pass defense, 44th in the nation. And you go down below here, you do see some wide receivers who've had success. Isaiah Canyon from Georgia Tech, 54 yards. DeAndre Moore from Texas, 75 yards. Emmett Mosley from Texas had 68. Ryan Wingo from Texas, 2 Texas receivers had 60-plus yards. Brennan Thompson from Mississippi State, 92. Eugene Wilson from Florida, 121, so on and so forth. You've seen wide receivers have some success here. And again, he had a really good game the last time out. I don't know why they wouldn't go to him again if the same advantage, the same mismatch is there in this game against Georgia. So I like Isaiah Horton here over 31.5 receiving yards. And then my second player, probably looking at the Georgia side of things now, I'm looking at Nate Frazier over 61.5 rushing yards, which I'm grabbing for -114, again, over on FanDuel. Similar numbers here, 50-50 on the season, 6 of 12 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 67.42 rushing yards per game this year. We do go ahead and narrow it down, though. 3 of his last 5, including 3 of his last 4. He's cashed the over. He's averaging 92 rushing yards per game over his last 5 games. And this pick is more about him hopefully bouncing it back, wherein last time he played Alabama, it did not go well. Just 30 rushing yards. Like we mentioned, Chauncey Bowens, the other running back for Georgia, had a much better performance. Now, I thought about taking him, but he is coming off an injury. He didn't play versus Georgia Tech last week, although he is good. He should be good to go here. I'm just banking on Nate Frazier having a bounce back spot. He had just 4 carries in that game last time out, but he is number 1 on this team. He carries 145 carries. That's a 29.6% run share. So he is the feature back, the lead back in this offense, but he obviously had a very disappointing result the last time out. Chauncey Bowens there, 3rd. Obviously, he had a 1 fewer game to go off of. But I'm banking on a Nate Frazier bounce back game here, and we have seen running backs, Harlan Berry for LSU had some success there. Alabama's run defense has been a little bit better of late, but overall, like we mentioned this year, it's the one weak point of their defense, 36th in the nation. If Georgia's going to win this game, they have to run the football. And if they're going to be running the football, you would assume Nate Frazier will be a part of that game plan. He's averaging almost 14 carries per game over his last 5 games, so getting a lot of work there, obviously dominating the run share. I think it's just going to be a big bounce back game for Nate Frazier in this spot, a measure of revenge, if you will. So over 61.5 rushing yards, again, -114 over on FanDuel. And guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Until next time, guys, I hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.